Let's start with the prompt. Which choice describes the main purpose of the text? Let's go ahead and start reading. The field of study called affective neuroscience seeks instinctive physiological causes for feelings such as pleasure or displeasure, because these sensations are linked to a chemical component. For example, the release of the neurotransmitter dopamine when one receives or expects a reward. They can be said to have a partly physiological basis. These processes have been described in mammals, but these researchers have observed that some behaviors of honeybees, such as foraging, are also motivated by a dopamine-based signaling process. So let's look at the answers. Is the main purpose that it describes an experimental method for measuring the strength of the physiological responses in humans? We're not really talking about measuring the strength. B, illustrates the processes by which certain insects can express how they're feeling. Insects expressing how they're feeling. That's pretty funny. C, summarizes a finding suggesting that some mechanisms in the brain of certain insects resemble mechanisms in mammalian brains. Maybe, let's leave it for later. And D, presents research showing that certain insects and mammals behave similarly when there's a possibility of reward for their actions. That one we may have a problem with because we're seeing in the passage that humans and insects in certain situations have similar motivation, which is a dopamine-based signaling process. So they're motivated by the same thing. Does that mean that humans and insects behave similarly? I suppose in certain instances in life, humans and insects do behave similarly, but that's not what the passage is saying. It's saying that they have similar physiological processes motivating their actions. So we can get rid of D here, and the answer is C.